Welcome to my channel, The Golden Cage. Once upon a time, in the flourishing kingdom of Lorien, there reigned a king named King Theodoric, whose insatiable greed was known throughout the land. Draped in robes embroidered with gold and jewels, he ruled from a magnificent castle whose towering spires gleamed like the treasures within. Yet beneath the dazzling exterior, Theodoric's heart was as cold and unyielding as the metal he so adored. King Theodoric cared little for the welfare of his people. Every day, he issued decrees to raise taxes and confiscate any wealth his subjects dared to accumulate. Lavish feasts, grand tournaments, and extravagant celebrations filled his court, while the common folk labored under the weight of hardship. Their modest lives sacrificed on the altar of his greed. His court surrounded him with flatterers who applauded his every command, their voices echoing in the vast marble halls of the palace. One bitter winter, as the people huddled in their humble cottages against the biting cold, a mysterious traveler appeared at the palace gates. This aged seer, with eyes that shimmered with the wisdom of many lifetimes, was summoned by the queen. In a hushed, solemn tone, the seer warned, "Great king, your endless pursuit of wealth has chained you in a golden cage. In neglecting the needs of your people, you have sown the seeds of despair. A time of trial is near, a trial that no amount of gold can avert." King Theodoric scoffed at the warning, his heart deaf to any counsel that did not speak of riches. But as the seasons turned, omens began to manifest. The once mighty river that nourished the land ran dry, the fertile fields withered under an unyielding sun, and a strange malaise swept through the villages, leaving despair in its wake. The people, driven to the brink of starvation, cried out for help, yet Theodoric remained consumed by his obsession with treasure. As spring emerged reluctantly, disaster struck in earnest. A calamitous famine gripped the kingdom. Crops failed, livestock perished, and the anguish of the starving spread like wildfire. The gold hoard that the king so treasured could not fill empty stomachs or mend broken homes. The once loyal subjects, their faith shattered, began to murmur of revolt. In the dead of night, amidst thunder and lightning, an eerie event befell the castle. The vault that held Theodoric's immense wealth was found in disarray, its precious coins and jewels had mysteriously vanished, as if the earth itself had swallowed them whole. The treasure that had once been his pride was gone, and with it, his power began to crumble. Fear and anger simmered among his people, and the walls of the once impregnable castle could no longer contain the rising tide of rebellion. In the chaos that followed, King Theodoric was forced to confront a painful truth: his greed had isolated him, and his selfish pursuit of wealth had turned his subjects against him. The kingdom, now awakened to the harsh consequences of neglect, rallied to reclaim their dignity and rebuild their lives with compassion and unity. King Theodoric, stripped of his riches and abandoned by his faithful advisors, retreated into the solitude of his shattered palace. There, in the echoing silence of his former glory, he was left to ponder the bitter cost of his greed, a golden cage that had trapped him in loneliness and despair. Moral of the story: greed and selfishness may amass wealth, but they blind a leader to the needs of those he is meant to serve. True prosperity is not measured in gold, but in compassion, unity, and the well-being of the community. So if you like this story, then tell me in comment section.